Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today's class is going to focus on deep twisting and binding. So we'll work into deep twists and then I'll give you the option for binds in all of our different poses. If the binds are inaccessible or if they don't work for your body, just skip the bind, take the twist, or take any other variation of the posture that works for you. So let's start today in extended child's pose. Bring your knees wide and your toes to touch. Walk your hands forward and release your forehead toward the floor. As you settle into your space, begin to connect to your breath. Start to shape the breath, moving toward longer inhales and exhales. And as you inhale, letting your belly fall between your legs, filling it up. And then as you exhale, you're going to draw your belly button back toward your spine, contract your core. And then take your time as you shape your breath, making it a little bit longer and slower each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. Complete your exhale. And press up to tabletop. First, take your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Gaze is neutral down at the floor, so you have one long line from your head all the way to your tailbone. And on your next breath in, release your belly down toward the floor. Lift through the crown of your head and your tailbone, coming into cow pose. As you breathe out, round your spine. Lift and separate your shoulder blades. Take your gaze toward navel center. At your own pace, inhale to cow and exhale to cat, and just warming up your spine. Complete your last cat, and then come back to tabletop position. Place your right hand right in the center of your mat for a twist. Inhale, lift your left arm high. Let's take it into our first bind. So option for a half bind here. Reach your left hand toward your right hip. Roll your left shoulder open. Maybe take your gaze up. Reach your left arm up, and then slide your left arm behind your right. Come onto your left shoulder and left ear. Keep your hips high over your knees. Rest the entire weight of your head on your mat. Press into your right hand, lift your left arm high, and release tabletop position. Place your left hand to the center of your mat. Lift your right arm up. For a half bind, take your right hand to your left hip. Roll your right shoulder open. Maybe look up. Lift your right arm straight up. Slide your right arm behind your left. Come onto your right shoulder and right ear. Keep your hips high. Rest the entire weight of your head onto your mat. Breathe deeply into your belly. Press into your left hand. Reach your right arm up. Release tabletop. Come into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Bring your heels toward the floor. It's okay if they don't touch.
Release tension from your neck by shaking out your head. You can pedal out your feet. Maybe shake your hips side to side. Three more breaths in and out through your nose. Complete your exhale. Bring your feet to touch. Maybe walk them about a half a step forward. Toes and heels together. Bring your left hand toward the center of your mat, and then bring your right hand to the outer side of your left ankle. Take hold of your ankle, so shorten your stance as much as you need to take hold of your ankle. Draw your right elbow to the right and look out underneath your left arm. Take your gaze back toward neutral and then relax your arm. And then just playing with our balance here, see if you can lift your right leg off the floor. Release. Switch sides, bring your right hand toward the center of your mat. Take your left hand, take hold of your right ankle. And first, draw your elbow to the left and look to the right for a twist. Relax the grip on your arm. Take your gaze back toward neutral, down at your mat, and then see if you can lift your left leg off the floor. A challenging movement, so if you fall out of it, just try and come back into it. Building a lot of strength in our balance here. Keep your core engaged. Release your left foot to meet your right, and then walk back to down dog. Separate your feet, separate your hands. One more full breath in down dog. Lift your right leg high and bring your knee toward your nose and step through for low lunge. Release your back knee down onto the floor for Crescent Moon. Lift your arms up overhead. Hold here for another breath. On your exhale, bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to twist to the right. So bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Bring your hands, connect the palms of your hands, and bring your thumbs toward your sternum as much as you can. Option here to extend your arms. Bring your left arm down, your right arm up. So we'll be doing this later in class with our knee off the floor, so just take advantage of the extra stability here, down on the floor. And then bring your hands back to either side of your foot. Lift your left knee off the floor, and then straighten through your right leg, coming into extended pyramid pose so we can stretch our hamstring. Release your forehead down toward your shin. One more breath. Exhale, come to low lunge. Inhale, step your left foot to the front of your mat. And then exhale, ragdoll. So bend your legs, rest your torso on your thighs, opposite hand, opposite elbow. Release your hands down onto your mat, heel toe your feet together, roll up to standing.
Arrive in mountain pose, extending your fingertips down toward the floor, spreading your toes. Find a neutral pelvis here, engage your core. Let's take it into a twist. Tall mountain, inhale. And then exhale, you're gonna bring your left arm forward and your right arm back. Keep your hips forward. Okay, so use your core to twist from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. You can take your gaze towards your right fingertips if you'd like. Really using a lot of core strength to keep your hips level and facing forward. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. Now take that left hip, make sure it's level and facing forward, and that you're using your core to twist. Look out toward your left hand. Inhale, both arms up overhead. And then exhale, take your right hand to your right leg and then side bend. Reach your left arm up and across. Keep your shoulder in line with your hip. Big breath in, tall mountain. To the opposite side, left hand slides down the left leg. Up and across with the right arm. Keep your core engaged. Both arms up. Big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Hold high plank. Modification for high plank is knees to the floor. It's still a very strength building move, so take care of your body. If this is too hard on your wrists, walk your hands a little bit further forward of your shoulders. Full body strengthener, but you're gonna have the most integrity in your high plank if your core is really tightly engaged. So bring your awareness to your core and then lower all the way down. Take your feet flat to the floor. Bring your hands out to the outside edges of your mat and come up on your spider fingers, on the pads of your fingers. Lift up. And then dip your left shoulder in, look to the right. Nice stretch for your shoulder, a little twist here. A little strength building in the arms as well. Come back to center. And then dip your right shoulder to the right, look to the left. Oh, I love this shoulder stretch. It feels really good. And come back to center. And then lower down. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, press up to high plank. And then back to down dog. Lift your left leg high. Bring your knee to your nose and step through. Release your back knee down onto the mat. Lift your arms up overhead. Hold here in Crescent Moon for another breath. Work your shoulders right over your hips. Inhale. And bring your hands to your heart. Twist, right elbow to the outside of left knee. Connect the palms of your hands, press into the palms of your hands, and rotate deeper, working your sternum toward your thumbs and your thumbs toward your sternum. Again, we're just working in that direction. And an option to open your arms if you'd like. You can take your right hand down and your left arm up. Bring your hands back to your heart, unwind, and place your hands to either side of your right foot. Lift your right knee off the floor and straighten through your left leg so we can take a hamstring stretch here. Pyramid pose, release your forehead down toward your shin. Look back toward your back toes. Inhale. And come forward as you breathe out, low lunge. Step your right foot to meet your left, and then keep your hips low and lift your arms up for chair pose. So if this feels like any tension on the shoulders, you can either widen the arms, or you can bring your hands to your heart, which we're all gonna do in just another moment here. So hold it for another breath. Now bring your hands to your heart. Without hooking the elbow to the knee, we're gonna twist. So breathe in here. As you breathe out, twist to the right, look to the right, come back to center. Breathe out, look to the left, twist to the left. Inhale, Exhale to the right. Back to center. And to the left. Back to center, hold it. Deep breath in. Exhale, come to standing. Release your hands. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. And chaturanga. So you can lower halfway or all the way down. And then your inhale breath will be either cobra or upward facing dog. Keep space in the back of your neck. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Let it all go. And then come forward to forward fold as you exhale. Tall mountain, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Monkey. And chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. Complete your exhale. Come forward. Forward fold. Tall mountain. Forward fold. Monkey. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. As you inhale, come forward. Forward fold. Tall mountain. Forward fold. Monkey. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Last time. Look forward, come forward. Forward fold. Tall mountain. Forward fold. Monkey. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Take your right leg high. We're going to twist. Bring your right knee to your left elbow. Hold. Bring your right knee to your right elbow. Bring your right knee to your left elbow. Bring your knee to your nose. Step through. Come up on your fingertips and then rise, crescent lunge. Work your shoulders over your hips. Active reach through your fingertips. Then draw your right hip back and your left hip forward. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another, even though they're not touching. Drag your right heel toward your left toes and your left toes towards your right heel. Keep this solid foundation in your legs. Take your hands to your heart. Twist, left elbow, right knee. Hold here or extend your arms. Left hand to the floor, right hand toward the ceiling. Hold here or take your right hand to your left hip for a half bind. Or you can take the full bind, reaching your left hand underneath your right thigh for the clasp. Wherever you are, make sure that your head is in line with the spine. So don't sacrifice the depth of the twist for the length in your spine. Bring your hands back to your heart. Unwind, crescent lunge. Release your back heel down and come into warrior two. Open your hips and your shoulders to the side, and then gaze to the front. We're going to bind our arms in cow face, so bring your left hand to your back, right hand up and over. Work toward clasping the hands together. If not, take your left hand to your right elbow. Come back to warrior two. Begin to shift forward. Release your right hand toward the floor. Don't dump any weight into your right hand. Lift your left arm up, extended side angle. Same thing here. I'll give you lots of options. You can stay here. You can extend your left arm forward if you want the big side body stretch. You can bring your left hand towards your right hip. Roll your left shoulder open. Maybe gaze up. Or you can take your right hand underneath your right thigh for the clasp. If you take the clasp, make sure that your spine is long and that your left shoulder isn't dumping forward. Come back to our first variation. Right hand to the floor, left hand to the ceiling, and then 5-pointed star. For chest expansion, take your hands behind your back, clasp your hands, open your chest. Press your fists down. Start to lift your hands up away from your back. Take your heels behind your toes. And as you hinge forward, continue to lift your arms. Maybe they don't come very far, that's fine. Maybe you can release them toward the floor. On your next breath in, rise up. Return to warrior two. And then shorten your stance, square your hips, warrior one. So now we're facing our shoulders and our hips toward the front of our mat. And again, this is more accessible if your stance is a little bit shorter. If you feel unbalanced, widen your legs. So your foot is in line with both feet are in line with both of your hips. And for humble warrior, another chest expansion. Take your hands behind your back. Open it up, right shoulder to the inside of right knee. Okay, this is going to be our position for our balance as well. So you're just gonna look forward toward your right toes and then center your torso over your right leg and start to lift your left leg off the floor. Airplane with chest expansion. Start to lift your chest so it's parallel to the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Hands to the floor, step back. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog as you breathe in. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Lift your left leg. Step through, bring your left elbow to your right knee. So twist across your body. It's a little core work here. Left elbow, or left knee to left elbow. Left knee to right elbow. Left elbow. Nose, step through. Bring your hands to hover. Rise up, crescent pose. Get strong in your legs, your foundation. Once you've established your strong foundation, we'll move into a twist. So your legs are going to stay just as they are. So squeeze everything into midline, get nice and tight. Bring your hands to your heart, start to hinge forward. Right elbow, left knee. Twist from the base of your spine through the crown of your head using your core. Stay here or open your arms. Right arm to the floor, left arm to the ceiling. Stay here or left hand toward right hip. For the full bind, take your right hand underneath your right thigh for the clasp. Once again, don't sacrifice the length of your spine for the depth of your twist. So keep your legs and your torso in alignment as you work in the direction of this bind. Bring your hands to your heart, unwind, crescent pose. Warrior two, plant your heel on the floor. Open your shoulders and your hips to the side, extend your arms. Soft gaze out across your front fingertips. You can always check in with your right arm, make sure it's parallel to the mat. This is a strength and stamina building pose, so hold it. Stay engaged. And then cow face arms, left arm up and over, right arm behind. Maybe clasp your hands or take your right hand to the top of your left elbow. Getting double duty here, building strength in our legs and flexibility in our shoulders. Extend your arms, warrior two. And start to shift forward. Reach with your left fingertips. Take your left hand toward the floor, right hand toward the ceiling. So if you are flexible enough and can reach the floor, be mindful that you don't come all the way down and just rest your weight here. Like the alignment, the shoulder comes forward. You're not using your core this way. So again, if you are open in your hips, stay lifted so you're actually using your core and the strength of your legs to keep your spine long. Stay here or take your right hand toward your right hip for a half bind. Or for the full bind, you'll reach your left arm underneath your thigh, clasp your hands, roll your shoulder open. Come back to extended side angle, unbound, 5-pointed star. Toes point out, heels point in. Bring your hands to your heart, sink into your squat. Keep your neutral pelvis, so be mindful that you're not sticking your booty out or tucking too far under. Continue to draw your knees toward your pinky toes so you're actively engaged in your glutes. Let's take it into a twist. Hands to your knees, left shoulder comes in, look to the right. So this is similar to our stretch at the beginning of our class. Come back to center, right shoulder in, look to the left. Come back to center, hands to heart. 5-pointed star. Warrior two and warrior one. Shorten your stance, arms up. Square your shoulders and your hips to the front of your mat. Establish your foundation in your legs. Squeeze everything into midline. Engage your core. Humble warrior, take your hands behind your back. Open your chest. Left shoulder inside of left knee.
For our balancing pose, center your torso over your left leg. Start to rock your weight forward into your left foot. Lift your right leg off the floor. And bring your torso parallel to the floor. Take a deep breath in. Low lunge. Take your hands to the floor. Step back. Inhale, step back, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. It's just flow. Breath to movement through part of our series. So lift your right leg. Breathe out, step through. Rise up on your inhale, crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. 5-pointed star. Prayer squat. 5-pointed star. Warrior 2. Warrior 1. And from warrior 1, airplane. Take a deep breath in. Breath out, low lunge. Plank, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog to the other side. Left leg inhale, low lunge exhale. Crescent lunge, warrior 2. Reverse warrior, extended side angle reach forward, 5-pointed star, prayer squat, 5-pointed star, warrior 2, warrior 1, airplane. Breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. And look forward toward your hands. Step or float through to a seat. And come into boat pose. Deep breath in. Low boat. Extend. Boat. Low boat. Again. Low boat. Boat. Low boat. Hold for 5, 4. Come up to a seat. All right, so we're gonna take a side bend here with an option to bind. I'm gonna emphasize again, don't take the bind if you're gonna sacrifice the length in your spine. So I'll show you what that means. Send your right leg to the right, left foot to right inner thigh. Take your right hand to your left knee, and then bring your left hand up and over. Okay, so you want this nice side stretch. If you can reach your toe, you can take the bind, but only if you can keep your shoulder open, okay? So don't reach for the toe here. It's not the point of this pose. The point of this pose is to stretch through your side. So keep your head tracking with your spine as you bend to the side. Come up. And we're going to take this into a bound twist.
So you're going to bring your right foot to your left hip for a half lotus pose. If you can't take half lotus, go ahead and just take easy pose. Okay, we're going to twist from the base of the spine. So as you twist, keep your shoulders over your hips and then start to rotate. Use your core to make the rotation. Take your left hand to your right knee. So again, we're crossing over the center of the body. Your right hand's going to come out behind for support. And just place it on the floor. You can look out over your shoulder. If you want to take this into the bind and you're in half lotus, you're just going to continue to reach that right hand towards your right toes. And then you can clasp your right toes and then maybe twist a little bit deeper. Okay, so don't take the bind if then your twist looks like this, okay? Stay upright. That's the most important thing. Breathe in. Deep breath out. One more. Release. Switch sides. Bring your left foot, left leg to an angle, right foot to left inner thigh. Bring your left hand to your right knee, and then your right hand's going to come up and over. So I can't bind on this side without rolling my shoulder forward. So on this side, I'm just going to reach toward my toes. Okay, this shoulder's a little bit tighter on me. Okay, so the same could be true for you. Maybe one side you can bind, the other you can't. So just make sure that you keep your body in alignment, working in the direction of your toes. Slowly release, and we'll take the twist. Bring your left foot to half lotus pose. If you can't take half lotus pose, hips are tight, just take easy pose or comfortable seated position. Most important here is the twist. So twisting from a comfortable seat from the base of your spine. Take your right hand to your left knee. Left hand can be resting on your mat, or you can reach around for the left toes if they're accessible. One more breath. Complete your exhale. And come back to center. Take your feet to your mat. Extend your arms forward and lower down onto your belly. Bring your feet to mat distance apart. Bring your arms to goal post and start to windshield wiper your legs. Complete this side. Come back to center. We're going to take one more bind, bridge with chest expansion. Bring your heels in toward your hips. Bring your arms alongside your body. Lift your hips off the floor. Interlace your hands underneath your hips. Roll onto your shoulders. Keep your chest coming toward your chin, but your chin coming away from your chest. And lower down. Bring your knees into your chest.
Shavasana. Bring your legs long, arms by your side. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it at the top. Let it go through your mouth. Return to the natural rhythm of your breath. I invite you to remain in your Shavasana for as long as you have time for. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. Namaste.